Hey, what's going on, guys? So I have a little bit of time right now, not a lot of energy, but I got the time, so I thought I'd rip out some of these questions before the sun goes down. So everyone who left a question, I really appreciate it. I put a video up on TikTok and asked you guys to ask me anything you wanted, and we got a lot of questions, so I'll try and rip through these, get to as many as I can. The first one is, what training split would you recommend for muscle growth? There is no best split. Like, if anyone's telling you this is a split you need to do, they're lying. That's just not the case. Different splits work for different people, and there's a variety of ones you can try and like throw in variation to help your muscle grow if you reach a plateau. Personally, I use push-pull legs. I used to do like the bro split, or like the what FOAD calls the pro split, but that's a muscle group every day. But I personally like push-pull legs a lot. It was a lot of fun, but I target different muscle groups for, like, I have 2 separate push days, 2 separate pull days and stuff like that. Dior asks best exercises for wide back. So I'd say definitely like lat pull downs or pull-ups. If you can do pull-ups, they're really good. But the most important thing I find is making sure that you activate your lat before you actually do the exercise. Because like for the longest time I had terrible lats because I couldn't get that activation on the movement. So a pendulum row. That's where you row out and you pull into your side, but instead of just going like straight down, opening up, you like bring it forward and then back, and it like forces you to activate your lat. And so I did that for a while, but you can't really overload the muscle as much as you can with like a regular row. So at this point, I'm now doing regular rows, but for you beginners, pendulum row helped me a lot. Should you cut as a teen? I would say no. Technically, I'm a teen right now, but I'm only cutting because I have a show. Every teen's got abs, you know? Every skinny guy's got abs when you're a teenager. Why not be a big guy, you know? I think it's definitely better. It depends on like what your goals are and stuff too. If you're a heavier guy and you can't even see your abs, then for sure you want to cut down. But I wouldn't recommend like cutting for like no reason, like summer shredding or whatever. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it. Live your life, have fun. There's no point. Schwevel asks, is your hair natty? My hair is actually my natural hair. It's from my mom. My mom's got really curly hair, so I got blessed because I like the curly hair. How long do you cut for, and how many calories do you cut from your caloric maintenance? I never track my calories. I do this thing where I eat as much as I can. In the off season, I eat as much as I can, focused on my protein intake, and then once my stomach hurts, then I eat my vegetables. And I do that every meal, like 5 times a day pretty much. And that gave me the best results for off season. And then I did do a little maintenance this summer because like just for fun, mix them up as quarantine. And I'm now about like 600 calories off my maintenance at this point. But I also lost I was like 182 when this all started, and I'm 165 in the morning. So that was a lot of weight off. I just threw my coach all the information I had, and he did everything for me, so I don't really know too much about that. Can you rate or tell me what I should do for my physique? I told that guy to DM me. Beginner workout. Okay, so that's just a general statement, just beginner workout, but if he's talking about what I think he's talking about, the things to focus on are progressive overload. And no one really understands the concept, which is surprising because right when I started working out, I started doing progressive overload just out of I don't know, I just thought that's how you work out. So what I always say is, if you're doing 4 sets of something, hit the set for 8 reps. Hit it for 8 reps, hit it for 8 reps. Then that last set, if you can get 12 or even 12 to 16 reps, you gotta up your weight. Those first 3 sets in front of those weren't hard enough. They weren't hard enough, and so that's how you can tell if you're properly like progressive overloading, is you can like max your last set. Like the way my original training program that I started with was structured was perfect because it literally forced progressive overload, and it helped me like a tremendous amount. How to do recomposition, gain muscle while losing fat. You can do it. You definitely can. I think people like Greg Doucette and stuff make it seem like you never have to bulk, and you don't necessarily have to bulk, but there's a certain limit, right? So like I think the casual people don't have to bulk. If you just want to put on size, there's no point in bulking. But when you're trying to be like my goal is to be Mr. Olympia, your boy's got to bulk, you know what I mean? So yeah, but how to do a recomposition, there's so many variables. So Quasmito, I'm happy to help you, but you're gonna have to DM me on Instagram because that's way too general of a thing to like just rip through on a Q&A quickly. What would you say are the best forearm workouts? Man, I don't hit my forearms at like deadlifts, you know, like deadlifts, heavy upright row, pretty much back day. Like back day is the best for forearms. But if you really like, if that's a weak point you got to bring up, there's like things like the wrist curls. Those are great. To build the top of the forearm, I like the reverse grip bicep curls. I feel that a lot in my forearm. I do those often actually. How are you hungry when you have so many meals during my cut? So this is what I like. This was a great question because I get this question so much. Everyone's like, how are you hungry? Like, oh, how are you suffering? You eat like 6 meals. I'm in a caloric deficit. So first of all, that sucks. That just like makes your body wants more energy and you're not getting the energy. So your body's off. Now I'm at the point where I'm like 10% body fat, if that. Like I got striated glutes. I don't know if you guys know the extent that striated glutes means, but I'm 4 weeks out with striated glutes. Like I'm almost worried I'm too ready at this point. I want to like fill myself back up, but I'm gonna have to talk to my coach and see what he has to say on that. But everything I eat super clean, and I train sometimes 3 times a day, at least twice a day with morning fasted cardio and then heavy weights. So I'm like I'm eating a lot, but that's to space out my protein for optimum absorption and all that. But it's not enough. It's definitely not enough, like calorically, to sustain me, and that's why I'm losing weight, and that's why I'm shredding up, and it's all part of the fun, you know. I complain, but I love it. I really do love it. What's your favorite muscle to hit? Is definitely chest. Love the chest. Like chest is the best day, 100%. Not much else to add to that. Should you bulk as a teen? Yes. My opinion, yes. It's all circumstantial and what your goals are and stuff like that. But like I said, every skinny teenager has abs, you know? Like, you cut too much, you don't cut properly, you try and cut it too fast, you lose a bunch of your muscle that you worked so hard to build in the first place. And then you're another skinny guy with abs. Be a big teen. It's a little more fun, in my opinion. But it's whatever you want, man. Definitely recommend bulking as a teen and using those years to develop a solid physique so that when you get to like 19, 20, 21, when your testosterone's like peaking and you're, I don't know, that's when that stuff kind of matters more, I'd say. Like you're a teen in high school, Once you go to university and all that, that's when it becomes fun. How do you deal with having food around while being on a diet? This is kind of tough because I see the food and I go, oh, this sucks. But I'm never tempted to eat it because I know how much it would mess with me if I cheated. Like I got a comment the other day on TikTok and someone said, bro, you need a cheat day. And I was like, nah, like I can't cheat. And he's like, but your happiness comes first. And I was just thinking, and I explained to him, if I did cheat, my happiness would plummet. It would mess with me so much. Like, no way, man, my happiness is sticking to this and all that. But, yeah, being around food, I don't eat dinner with the family anymore. I'm a sucker for cheesecake. Favorite dessert. I'm not a sweet guy. Sucker for cheesecake. They had cheesecake the other night. You just see it. You're like, oh, it sucks. I'm gonna get cheesecake when I'm done this, you know what I mean? Like, it's only 4 more weeks. Even if it's like 8 more weeks, it's only 8 more weeks. Like, just tough it out, you know? It's like, oh, you get like 15 minutes of pleasure. Like, no, don't cheat. What's your workout split? So like I said before, push-pull legs. But it's a variation. Like, people like have the same push day, same pull day, and same leg day. And I don't think that optimizes push-pull legs. I think you should definitely have at least 2 for variation. I like 2 of each. When did you start exercising, and how and why did you start? So I started exercising. I got a crazy story. Well, it's not even that crazy, but so my dad's like a big meathead. Like, I love him. He's a smart guy. I don't mean that as like an insulting way, but he's a big, strong guy. And so when I was a baby, he used to put his hand on my chest once I was able to sit up, and he just like pushed me around. And I loved it. Like, I'd laugh, but it was working on my core strength. He'd make me just keep sitting up, sitting up, sitting up. And then when I was growing up, I saw him, and I wanted to be like him. Like, just seeing him, like, my favorite superhero was like the Hulk, you know what I mean? Like, I idolized that. I never idolized bodybuilding, though. I always thought it was kind of like gross. And then we used to watch World's Strongest Man together. Never thought like, oh, I want to do that. But yeah, I just like, my dad got me a bench. God bless him. Got me that bench. That's a squat rack. I can deadlift with the Olympic bar. Like, he just got me high quality weights and said, go hit those weights and watch what happens. And I was playing sports. Like, I always played sports my whole life. So if you count that as working out, that was something. But yeah, you told me to go hit those weights, man. And like, it freaking worked. And then I got hooked. Like, you just see the progression. And it's so encouraging. Like, once you get a taste, I can't believe people stop. It's amazing to me. Because it's just so fun to focus on that and grow your body. Like, I'm absolutely obsessed. And finally, what have been your biggest hardships you've gone through? I'm not going to go into any hardships and stuff like that. Everyone has their stuff. But my main takeaway from that would be don't victimize yourself. I mean, don't think like, poor me, this happened. Like, you can think of like good ways to spin it, but you don't even have to spin it. There are positives to that. Like, any hardship you've been through has just made you stronger, unless you shut down. That's what I'm saying. Don't shut down. Like, take it on with stride. Stuff happens, you know? It builds character. If a guy says, why did she play me? And then use your cat emoji. I'm going to say the cat emojis. Definitely got to her. When did you start working out, and how long have you been doing it? I just answered that. Can you touch on when to start counting / tracking calories? What age and how to start? Depends on your goals. I mean, if you're 8 years old and you're like, I'm fat, I want to change this. Honestly, counting calories is like, I'd say overrated. It's a nice way to quantify like what you do, but try this method first. If anyone wants to like lose weight, or they're trying to even put on weight, putting on weight's easy. Just eat a lot and eat clean. If you're eating a lot and eating clean, you're probably going to hit your protein intake for the day. If you're counting anything, count protein intake. That's for sure. And then just try the approach of just eating till you're a little full. A lot of people, if they're having like pizza or something, they're going to have that extra slice. They're going to have the extra 2 slices. Granted, I'm always bulking, so I don't really care, but like, man, I eat till it hurts, you know? Like, but if you do lighten up on it and just eat, like, till you're kind of full, you should never really be hungry, and then weight normally starts coming off. And especially if it's weight loss, man, just start hitting cardio before you start touching the diet. If that's not working, then that's when you got a problem. This guy's first. Yes, sir. Rocco's always first. Just JS. What motivates you? Well, different things will motivate you at different times of your life. Like, if you ask me, like, even like last year, my answer would be super different. But now what motivates me is I want to be the king. I want to be Mr. Olympia. I want to be great. Like, I really want to be great, man. Like, I'm obsessed at this point. And yeah, that's super motivating. Like, I want to see how far I can go and how far I can push myself. And I think it'll be exciting to see, you know. And if I go down, I'll just put this same amount of energy in something else, and I'll be all right. I'm not worried. Who or what inspired you to start working out? Yo, definitely my dad. Said it once, say it again. My freaking dad. I love that man. Like, so grateful. Most supportive guy. He's definitely a huge inspiration. And just getting me those weights. Like, that was like at the time I just got weights, you know what I mean? Like, oh cool, I got weights. That changed my life. Like, it absolutely changed almost every aspect of my life, which was crazy to think. And you guys might think I'm being dramatic, but it really did. Truly awesome investment for him to get those for me. Super grateful. Are you in uni, and if so, for what? So yeah, I'm in university. I go to Queen's in Canada. I'm taking psychology. I really like psychology. It's pretty cool, man. People's thought processes and stuff. And my plan is to master in sports psychology so I can like train people and things like that. And especially in bodybuilding, with like the prep is super hard mentally. So if I could stay involved in the bodybuilding world, helping people through prep, you know, like kind of become a mental coach or something like that. That'd be cool. Or I could do it with like I did a high level in judo, so I could probably work with like Team Ontario Judo or something. I don't know, like I want to train people. That's absolutely my passion. Like working with my clients I have now, I love training them. So yeah, psychology is a way I can probably do that, because I did mess up a little bit in high school, but that's a story for another time. How do you get past lifting plateau? So yeah, I've actually never had a lifting plateau. I think it's because of the way I train, which I'm very fortunate that I figured out a good enough system. That's definitely been super effective. That's what happens, right? Like, I put a lot of time into finding out the optimum ways of training, because I don't want to waste time. You know, if I'm in that gym for an hour and a half, I want to make the most of that hour and a half. And if you are hitting a plateau, there's a problem. And the problem can be with your training. The problem can be with your nutrition. The problem can be with like your training intensity. Maybe you need to throw variables into that, different intensity techniques, but really that stuff doesn't need to come unless you're like really advanced. If you are plateauing and you're like just past your newbie gains, it's because you've never been training right. You're done with your newbie gains, and now you need to train. If you want to put on size, now you need to train like a bodybuilder. If you want to put on strength, now you got to train like a power lifter. You know what I mean? Like, if okay, so his name's just TikToker. If you want to DM me, I can figure out what your plateau actually is. But yeah, you shouldn't be plateauing unless you're like super experienced. I'm down to subscribe. Thank you, Fernandez, Braden M. What's your sleep schedule? So I was sleeping like 8 hours. 8 hours a day. And my coach was like, yo, let's up that. So I was like, okay, I'll sleep more, you know? So I normally sleep about 8 hours, but now I sleep like 9. I go to bed at around 12, and I wake up around 9 every day pretty consistently. If I do stay, like last night I was up till 1. The boys kept me up a little bit. Then I slept until 10. I'll go to bed at 12. Fitting in my meals isn't really a problem anymore. I actually it sucks spacing them out this much. But that's the optimum way to do it, so I do it. But yeah, I have no problem fitting in my meals, so it works. I see you have that thing with your chest. So yeah, so where the center is off, and I have that too. So I actually I show you guys. Like, I have like a rib deformity. Like, I swear, this thing's not normal. My rib cage isn't perfectly symmetrical, and I think the pec attaching, like, it just messed up. Like, I've been like this since I can remember. So I don't know exactly what it is. I know it's the pec's insertion point, like, isn't down there. It's bigger than the other, even though I lift the same strength. So yeah, muscle imbalances tend to happen whatever your dominant side is. So that might be why it's bigger. But if you mean like it's literally bigger because this part's cut off, for me that's genetic, man. Like, there's nothing I can do. Probably nothing you can do either. If you are finding there's a muscle imbalance, that means you need to take some weight off, slow down the reps a little bit, and focus on activation. Get that left side going. My favorite bodybuilder. Hey, this is the last one. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. This is fun. I hope I can do it again sometime. My favorite bodybuilder is 1000% Chris Bumstead. When I talk about being Mr. Olympia, I've kind of fallen in love with men's physique, honestly. I think it's very underappreciated. But I am biased because I am a men's physique competitor. But the goal is, I think, to go to Classic. I love Chris. I've met Chris. He is an awesome guy. Everything about him. I'm his biggest fan, absolute biggest fan. If we're talking open bodybuilding, and if I'm going favorite bodybuilder, and I love like Chris's like physique and everything, like the way he carries himself, how nice he is to his fans. My favorite open bodybuilder, I'd say physique-wise, would probably be William Bonac. He's only like 5'6", but he's got like such a nice taper and everything. But like I really don't know if he'll ever win. Like I think he's kind of like reached his peak, which is a shame. I want to see Big Ramy come in conditioned. Big Ramy's cool, man. That boy's big as hell. Like, holy, Phil's coming back. Yo, Patrick Moore. Patrick Moore is definitely my favorite open guy. I don't know why I was even thinking of other guys. Patrick Moore is so aesthetic, like, and he competes in open. Like, when he comes in on, I think he placed like 11th at the Olympia. Like, he's phenomenal. Look at Patrick Moore's physique. He's got this tiny little waist, like beautiful V-taper. He's got these long limbs, kind of like Ronnie Coleman, where he could like pack on some muscle and I think really be a threat. And he's like newer and younger. Like, Patrick Moore is definitely my open guy. If we're talking men's physique, Andre Ferguson is my favorite. He's a little big, but I really like his physique. I'm a huge fan of his look, and if I were to do men's physique, I would hope to look half as that good one day. But yeah, that's it. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a ton of fun. I appreciate you guys commenting because I don't have a lot of energy. I'm going to try and vlog my next refeed day. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. I'm drawing blanks now. It's a good time to end the video. Hopefully it's time for my next meal because hungry, but yeah, thanks again. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.